Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best on. Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep focal.
A pleasant good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from due to your geographical location. Welcome to Focal Online TV. Officially, I'm welcoming you to the daily edition of Inside the Print Media here on Focal TV. Remember, Focal TV is located within the Tupo Village community along the Japanese Highway. I am your presenter here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media, and my name is Gregfina Korchpa. I'm here this morning with my co-presenter. His name is Kaylin Topa is my co-presenter here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. Today is Thursday, August 17, 2023. Whatever you are doing, we encourage you to be efficient and effective. Whatever you are doing today, please be efficient and effective to have a positive end result. So this morning we will look at our newspapers in studio. Here we have the Daily Observer newspaper, we have the Front Page Africa newspaper, we have the Independent Probe newspaper, and the New Down newspaper. So we will be bringing you the headlines and the news in details from our news sources. That is our newspapers I just listed and I just named that are in studio here for today. And later on we will move on to our international news. We are encouraging you to get yourself a newspaper, be familiar and be informed of all of the happenings within our country Liberia, especially as we go through this time of our elections. It's good that you be informed about the happening of your country Liberia and the world at large. What you have to do is just follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, and we bring you the information of top stories within our country Liberia and the world at large. Or better still, get yourself a newspaper and be informed about the happenings within our country Liberia. So we will run quickly. We will begin from the Daily Observer standpoint. And one of the headline reads under the Daily Observer newspaper, Chief Justice, you're waging war against injustice against females. Chief Justice, you're waging war against injustice against females. The news in details. Chief Justice Sianen G. York has launched a project that is intended to fight against injustice and discrimination against women and girls in the country. The project, Raging Justice for Women Fellowship Project, aims to fight injustice against women through strategic litigation to reform discriminatory laws and increase accountability for gender based abuse. The Association of Female Lawyers of Liberia, AFIL, in collaboration with Clone Foundation for Justice, CFJ, will implement the project. The Chief Justice, who is fully aware of the roles of AFIL in Liberia, commended the feminist organization and partner for the initiative and for always supporting women and girls in Liberia. I want to encourage you to wage a good and fearless war against injustice and discrimination that keep women down. You are said. Today's women were girls yesterday, and today's men were boys yesterday. This is a cycle. They are part of this cycle of life. The fight goes on and on. I thank the Clone Foundation for Justice for launching this project through a film. Giving an overview of the project, Attorney Christine Tennant Donald, an AFL Fellow of the Clone Foundation for Justice, said few global programs have worked to identify laws and policies that are holding women back and to support women's ability to claim their rights through the courts. Our Waging Justice for Women initiative aims to change this. Using data that we gather and working hand in hand with women led local organizations, our team uses legal avenues to overturn unfair laws, help victims get redress, and bring perpetrators to justice. We are also establishing Women for Women legal aid clinics to provide free legal support for women, secure legal remedies, and bring about systematic change, Donald added. The initiative is led by Amel Cloney with funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and other specialist organizations. Also speaking at the launching ceremony, the president of AFIL, Attorney Philomena Williams, expressed her gratitude to the Clone Foundation for justice for including Liberia amongst its African countries in its new efforts to empower the next generation of feminists lawyers to advance the rights of women and girls in their communities. We are proud that AFIL was recognized and accepted as one of the 10 organizations to partner with the CFG. We congratulate Attorney Christian Donald for a successful recruitment as the CFJ Fellow for the program. CFJ can be assured of FL expertise for a successful outcome of the project, she said. In Liberia, women and girls are vulnerable to all forms of violence, physical, psychological, and economic violence, the FL boss further said. The program will fight injustice against women in Liberia, including the harmful practice of female gender mutilation (FGM), gender-based violence (GBV), sexual exploitation, trafficking, rape, early marriages, gender inequality, and gender insensitive laws. These unwanted or unwarranted injustices affect the health of women, cause lifelong traumatic physical and psychological harm, and deny women equal opportunities. Indeed, this program will afford survivors access to justice. The launching ceremony was graced by officials of government, members of AFL partners, diplomatic community, and civil society organizations, among others. The project, which was launched the project August 15, is an initiative of Clone Foundation for Justice. This is how we move over to another headline under the Daily Observer newspaper. Liberia's peace at stake. Liberia's peace at stake. Liberia's peace at stake. UN envoy for West Africa and Sahel, Leonardo Simão, thinks so as he warned the campaign should not endanger the peace and stability of the country. The high-ranking UN official has warned that Liberia hard-fought peace and stability are at stake as a result of election violence. The warning from Leonardo Samoa, the UN envoy for West Africa and Sahel, comes as political tensions in the country remain high just a few days after a violent clash ensued between supporters of President George Weah and former Vice President Joseph Yuma Boaka on August 10 in Montserrat County, District Number 9. Timao, having read about the encounter, boldly warned that the fate of the country lies in the hands of political actors who bear the greater responsibility to ensure violence-free elections. Campaigns should not endanger the peace and stability of the country. Smile said in an address to the press after meeting with Ria and other presidential candidates. The peace you are enjoying today was made possible by the Liberian people first, and also the support of international community. Election can't be moments of breaks and relapse of peace in the country. Therefore, all institutions we met are fully aware of that. It is political parties' responsibility to educate their supporters to be in strict compliance with the rules. Liberia, a country still recovering from a devastating civil war that ravaged the nation between 1989 and 2003, has made impressive strides in terms of peace and democracy. The October 10 polls are the first general election in the country's post-war history, but the first since the withdrawal of the UN peacekeeping force. However, recent events, including clashes between rival supporters of political parties, have raised concern about the potential of a downward spiral into chaos once again. The international community, including regional bodies such as ECOWAS, has expressed a concern and called for an issue-based campaign as well as respect for the Framingham Peace Accord, which frowns on any form of electoral violence. The accord, Simao noted, must be respected as it is a key of the Liberia stability considering that the country experienced 14 years of civil war, leaving majorities of the surviving population enduring extreme suffering and unabated poverty. Our appeal is that the commitment made by the candidates through the Farmington Declaration should be fully implemented. The commitment made was to conduct peaceful, transparent, inclusive elections for the country. Liberia is a country a very difficult moment. Now the country is enjoying 20 years of peace, and the main challenge is to maintain peace so that the problems of the past cannot repeat themselves. Simao said, so elections cannot be moments of breaks or a relapse of peace in the country. Meanwhile, President Guia, in an earlier meeting with the UN envoy, retreated his administration's commitment to ensuring that the 2023 polls are conducted transparently, consistent with Liberian law and international standards. According to Weah, he remains mindful of his moral and constitutional responsibility to maintain national peace and stability, which includes sustaining and consolidating Liberia's budding democratic culture and conducting free and fair elections. Liberia is on the way to an inclusive and peaceful election, the president said. This is my commitment to Liberians and to the world. I will ensure to do the best of my abilities that this happens under my watch, he affirmed. He added that his government is already on record for conducting a plethora of highly contested by elections, including senatorial midterm elections, which were widely declared free, transparent, and fair. We are noted that his administration has also provided ample funding for the works of the National Elections Commission for the pending elections. Simao, during his visit to the country, also met with the electoral body and a host of civil society organization. This is how we close down on the Daily Observer newspaper. And now turn over to Kaylin Toba, who will bring to us information as it relates to the headlines and using details from the front page Africa.
Thank you. From Page Africa, President Riyadh issues proclamation calling the 54th legislature to extend six regular session. The President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Manawiya, has issued a proclamation calling on 54th legislature to extend its sixth regular session for a period of 2 weeks beginning August 22nd, 2023 to September 5, 2023 to discuss and act upon matters of national emergency and concern. According to a foreign ministry release, the proclamation mentioned that Article 32B of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia provides that the president shall, on his own initiative or upon receipt of the certificate signed by at least one-fourth of the total membership of each house, and by proclamation extend a regular session of the legislature beyond the date for adjournment, or call a special or extraordinary session of that body to discuss and act upon matters of national emergency and concern. The six regular sessions of the 54th legislature of the Republic of Liberia shall adjourn on Friday, the 21st day of July 2023, in accordance with the forementioned. The proclamation stated that in accordance with the forementioned Article 32B of the Constitution of the Republic, a certificate signed by at least one-fourth of the total membership of each house has been laid before the President on August 15, 2023, for the extension of the sixth regular session of the 54th legislature for a period of 2 weeks, beginning August 22nd, 2023, and the ending August 5, 2023, to allow the legislature the opportunity to discuss and act upon several legislative time-sensitive nature and other concerns centered on national development, integrity, transparency, and accountability. An act to repeal and act to amend Section 1 of an act fixing the day for the annual adjournment of the legislature of the Republic of Liberia, and to establish an earlier thereto an act to settling the calendar of adjournment for the legislature provides, as Section 2, second adjournment, second constituency visit break, that the second constituency break of the legislature shall commence not later than the third day of July of each year and end on the second Friday of October of each year. EFFL champions communist ideals for Liberia, seeking strong ties with Russia, China, and Cuba amid election turmoil. The group of political youngsters making the economic freedom fighters believe Liberia should be a communist state and have therefore disclosed plans to host the flag of Russia, China, and Cuba at their headquarters. Under the banner Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, these youngsters led by Emmanuel Gungwe argue that there is no law that forbids them for choosing their foreign allies. There is no political law and there is no constitutional requirement that determines who our friends are. We are on our party's meant to determine who our friends are. We have decided that our friends is Putin or Russia. He is our friend. We don't care about Joe Biden. We don't care about who Sonic is. We don't care who Macron is, Gungwe said. He added, we strongly believe that a nation under communist rule is the best way forward because we don't need government that will always side with the West that continues to exploit the resources without giving back to the country. We believe strongly that our allies will be defined by the foreign policies. We are saying to you that in the coming days, the National Youth Command of the EFFL will be welcoming and hosting the flags of Russia and the flag of China, the flag of Cuba, and other progressive forces progressive forces at our headquarters. Gongwe, who is a strong supporter of the Unity Party, Joseph Boakai presidential bid, is making this assertion as Liberia has less than 2 months to the elections that has already seen some campaign violence between the Unity Party and the ruling coalitions of democratic change. His calls for communalism establishing strong ties with Vladimir Putin comes after time when West Africa region has seen an increased military overthrow of the democratically elected government, including in Burkina Faso, Niger, and suspicious of Russia involvement. It is well known that Russia runs sophisticated digital disinformation campaigns in Africa, including in Niger, a key Western ally and a home of large U.S. and French bases. And since the coup junta leader have revoked military operations agreement with France and the country's former colonial colonial masters, Russians flags on the street of the capital Nairobi have become the symbols of the military coup in Niger. Media footage has also caught sight of slogans on posters saying "Down with France, Long Live Putin." Since 2020, the Sahel region has witnessed a serious five military coups accompanied by additional unsuccessful attempts. Notably, during 2019-2020, the presence of the mercenaries affiliated with the Russian private military company Wagner was observed in Mali. In 2020, in the aftermath of Burkina Faso's second coup of the year, a significant development occurred occurred, Fabian posing the enigmatic figure of the hymn of the Wagner congratulations to the emerging junta leader. Through a communication shared on the Telegram, lauded the actions of the Mutinian soldiers, deeming their actions as imperative. This brings us to the closure of Front Page Africa. Back to Grafina for the continuations of news on this platform.
Thanks to you, Kay Lyndon Topa, for your assistance on this platform, the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. Just before we resume reading our news from the New Downs newspaper, I would like to notify all of my viewers who are watching. Andy Boblet Jada, he's watching. TC Prince, he made a comment in the comment section. Good morning, Focal TV. I'm watching from Animal Farm. Rectina, your tone is getting perfect. Okay, thank you, TC Prince. We appreciate your efforts. Please continue to follow Focal Online TV. Here we do a teamwork and we are grateful to you. Lavi Ernest Lincoln is watching. Informative. Thanks to you, Lavi Ernest Lincoln. Hearing Gadget Bronskin. A lot of accuracy. I'm following from my Alice Yadu, Georgia Bassettown. Thanks for following. Molly Kekwe. I'm following from home. Thanks to you, Molly. We appreciate you. And all of you who are watching, we encourage you to send our link. Let's people join us and let's inform people about the happenings within our country, Liberia, and the world at large. So we commence reading from the New Dawn newspaper, and I will kindly read the headlines and then dive into the details of the news. Now is the time Kung rallies fellow Nibarians. Now is the time Kung rallies fellow Nibarians. So the news in details. Presidential candidate Joseph Human Boakai, running mate Senator Jeremiah Kung, says the pending October 10, 2023 elections is the only opportunity the people of votes reach Nimba County have to enter the presidency. Senator Kung, who hails from Nimba himself, notes that in the past, Nibarians have blamed the Unity Party standard bearer Boakai for not seeking their welfare by choosing his running mate from the county in the previous election. He urges Nibarians not to allow such opportunities to pass, saying, "We, from one of the biggest counties in the country, can't continue to be allowing smaller counties to fool us." In the past, we Nibarians blame Ambassador Joseph Boakai for not being able to choose his running mate from Nimba County. But thank God that this time around he was able to get his running mate from Nimba County, he says. According to him, the people of Nimba will not blame Ambassador Boaka for anything now because he was able to listen to their request and select his running mate from the county. The Nimba County Senator urges his kinsmen to support the rescue team of the Unity Party by making the pending October election a one-round victory for the party. He calls on Nibadians not to reject any offer from the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change, but accept every offer and yet vote them out because funds being used by the CDC are from the national cover that belongs to all Liberians. The way the country is going, you voters are watching. You can tell the story for yourself. No one can tell you the suffering. Addressing huge gatherings in several towns and villages in Limba, Senator Kong noted that the people of Nimba have suffered for too long and fought to reach the presidency, but there has been no way for them to get there. Killing, don't talk about why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing at the statements from Jeremiah Banku.
Okay. He says now is the opportunity for the Unity Party under Ambassador Joseph Boaka, which is a welcoming development, rallying his kingsmen to embrace the rescue mission and re-elect the UP or the UP power. According to him, smallest counties have been representing the bigger counties in Liberia, but this time around, citizens from bigger counties such as Nimba, Bong, Margibi, Krembasser, and Lofa should unite and present a common front. He says the people of Nimba should support the rescue team by voting Ambassador Boaka and Senator Prince Yomin Johnson should not allow any other political party to get votes from the county. According to Kuhn, when Liberians re-elect the United Party, living conditions in the country, including job opportunities, agriculture, health, education, and roads will improve. That was a statement from our incoming vice president if elected come October 10th. So we move over to another headline under the New Down newspaper. Kelly, don't tell why you got me smiling on this platform this morning. Please.
Uh, no, you can proceed with your news story. I'm just wondering. I just sitting down attentively listening to a statement from Jeremiah Banku, and asking the people to support his the former Vice President Joseph Boaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just got me laughing.
It's quite impressive and
Yeah,
interesting.
it just got me laughing in the sense that somebody who was once with the ruling, who was once with the ruling party is now asking people to vote him. Just
Politics is funny.
yeah,
It's really,
politics
really
funny.
funny. So we resume. Justice Minister warns political parties against militarizing supporters. Justice Minister warns political parties against militarizing supporters. Justice Minister Councillor Frank Musa Ding Jr. has warned political parties here to desist from militarizing their supporters, donning different regalia and carrying national security attires. Minister Ding said such practice of wearing national security attire by partisans during the ongoing political campaigns is against the law. I want to caution political parties to demilitarize their regalia. They should not carry attire that looks like the national security attires, way that will be tantamount to exercising state power, considered Dean said. Meanwhile, he assured citizens of maximum security during the ongoing electoral when he spoke to supporters and reporters shortly after NEC stakeholder meeting with presidential candidates ahead of the crucial poll. He explained that the Ministry of Justice (MOJ) has deployed maximum security in every quarter of the country to calm down violence and restore peace during political activities across the country while reassuring the protection of all presidential and legislative candidates. We are going to ensure maximum security. Our men are already deployed to every aspirant and we will continue to do that in the regional area. We are at the prophecy to ensure that every activity during the election is carried out in order, said Councillor Dean. He urged Liberians to be peaceful at every time and tone down rhetoric to maintain their democracy as the country strives to move forward after long years of civil unrest. For her part, NEC chairperson Deviata Brown Lasana reassured that the NEC readiness to conduct a free, fair, transparent, and inclusive, credible election across the country. This is how we move quickly to Kaylin Dontakwa for news headlines and details from the Independent Probe newspaper.
Thank you, Griffin, for such an eloquent presentation on this morning. Independent Prop newspaper. 20K each for lawmakers to pass abortion bill boosted. 20K each for lawmakers to pass abortion bill boosted. A wider investigations into how lawmakers in Liberia received 20,000 bribes to pass a controversial abortion bill is underway. A leak cabled in the possessions of the authoritative Independent Prop newspaper alleges widespread bribery by the governments of Sweden on demands of lawmakers here in Liberia to ensure the abortions on demand bill is passed. Based on credible allegations of bribery and influence peddling, I am respectfully and urgently requesting that both the government of Sweden and Liberia immediately investigate and determine whether any of the several Liberian senators or representatives received cash payment to influence or secure their votes in favor of pending legislation to legalize abortions on demand. The government of Sweden has aggressively pressured Liberia to enact sweeping new pro-abortion legislation, but may have crossed the line and committed serious crime if the sources are correct and envelope fight with the private London allegedly up to 20,000 of senators were conveyed. Representative Craig Smith, chairman of the Global Health and Human Rights Committee, Stephen Bread. It may be recalled early July 2023, Smith voiced concern over Liberian efforts to expand abortion and promote population control. Can't take their eyes off of corruption. Representative Chris Smith, chair of the House Global Health and Human Rights Subcommittee, Sunday, July 9, 2023, issued the following statement regarding the Liberian efforts to expand abortion and promote population control. The Liberian Senate must live up to an obligation to defend life at all stages from womb to tomb and must reject any changes of their national law and who weaken the protection of unborn children, including proposals allowing unrestricted abortions until 18 weeks. Abortion takes the life of an unborn child who can feel the pain of abortions, and abortion harms the mother psychologically, spiritually, and often physically. Rather, protection should be enhanced for mothers and unborn children. For our part, the U.S. Congress will thoroughly examine whether the Biden's administration broke U.S. laws and violated the Senate amendment by promoting abortions in Liberia, and whether it is overlooking the corruptions of the U.S. administration to secure the acquiescence of a neo-colonial population control agenda. U.S. Congressman Chris Smith stated, Liberians lawmakers are preparing a bill to expand access to abortion, which is currently subject to tight restrictions that many women circumvent through clandestine and dangerous means. The Joint Statement Committee began debating a bill on June 13 that could greatly expand the availability of legal abortion up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. The existing law allows abortion only in cases of rape, incest, fetal abnormality, danger to the mother's life, or risk to her physical or mental health. Medical exemptions require written approval by at least two doctors. In cases of rape or incest, proof must be provided in court. Otherwise, abortion is punishable by up to 3 years in prison. We want abortion to stop being a criminal offense. We want to amend the penal code to legalize abortion. The chair of Senate Health Committee, Augustine Chief, who initiated the bill, told Parliament in early June. Liberian women who do not meet the criteria imposed by the law resort to dangerous abortion practices. Liberia has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world with 1,772 deaths per 1,000 births in 2017, according to the UN. Despite restrictions, Liberian women have better access to abortions in their West African neighbors in Cote d'Ivoire or Sierra Leone. For example, according to the U.S. Research Institute, Genitwave, after the working committee, the test could be submitted to the vote of two as the debate widens. An outspoken Liberian prelate has voiced displeasure over attempt to pass the abortions on demand bill by the Liberian legislature. With this being said, it brings us to a closure of the Independent Pope newspaper. Back to Grafina for the continuation of news on this platform.
Thanks to you, Kaylin. Don't talk about. We will take a short break, 1 minute break. When we get back, we will move over to our international source. So our international source for today is the ABC News, and our headlines are interesting. You don't want to miss it. So please stay with us as we take this short break. But remember, we are still preaching the message of peace as media practitioner on our station here, Focal Online TV. Do away with violence come October 10. As we gear or as we are in the campaign season, we encourage you to be you. Do not do whatever the political parties are instructing you to do, or do not do whatever you think that will lead to violence. Do what is right. Be you. Go and cast your vote. So I'm just saying this to motivate someone out there that Liberia is what we have and Liberia is what we got. So, in order to protect the peace we have within our country, Liberia, we must do away with violence. Violence is not good. Violence is not something to experience. Violence is not something to witness. So, you can be someone who is witnessing it, you will have a harm. You can be someone who has experienced it, it's still harmful. So, there's no need to even say, I want to see what will happen, or I just want to witness it, I just want to see. No, no, no. Do away with violence. So we take a short break. When we get back, we just fill you in strictly on our international source for today. But until then, thanks for watching. I am your presenter here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. We have Honorable George Watkins Jr. Isia, good morning, everyone. I'm following live from Comfort Zone in District number 13, Monserrado County, Liberia. Thanks to you, Honorable George Watkins Jr., for joining us. You are welcome to Focal Online TV. This is the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. Can you please stay with us as we will conclude on our news right after this short break? Until then, please do have yourself a blessed time. We will be right back shortly. And when we get back, like I said, we fill you up on the happenings internationally. So please stay with us and I'll be right back. Thank you.
Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we bring it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting.
Okay, folks, welcome back. Welcome back to the daily edition of Inside the Prince Media, and I am your presenter on this Thursday, August 17, 2023. I want to rush the time and the date. So we will run quickly to our international news, and don't forget our choice for today's ABC News. So one of the headline reads 63 presumed dead after boat carrying migrants sinks near Cabo Verde off the coast of Senegal. 63 people are presumed dead after a boat carrying 100 people from Senegal sank near Cabo Verde, an island about 600 kilometers west of Senegal in the Atlantic Ocean. The UN International Organization of Migration told ABC News in a statement. 7 people were confirmed dead and 56 people were missing. UN informed spokesman Siafa Mashil told ABC News in a statement, people missing at sea are presumed dead. There were 38 survivors from the sinking, including 4 children aged 12 to 16, Mashi said. This sinking follows an increased trend in migrants' death and disappearance in 2023 compared to previous years. Those of you who like slow way, you have to be careful. All of these things that are happening internationally is something that we all need to pray for our countries, other countries, and pray for our neighboring countries as well. So we move over to another headline from our ABC source internationally. Texas women arrested. Texas woman arrested for alleged death threats to DC judge in Trump election interference case. Texas woman arrested for alleged death threats to DC judge in Trump election interference case. A Texas woman was arrested last week for allegedly threatening to kill the judge assigned to oversee former President Donald Trump's 2020 election interference case in Washington, D.C., according to court records. Abigail Joe Shari allegedly made a call to DC District Judge Tanya Chutkan's chambers on August 5, leaving a voicemail message with racist threats saying, "Hey, you stupid slave, you are in our sight. We want to kill you." She also allegedly threatened to kill anyone who went after former President Trump. An FBI affidavit says and also threatened to kill Texas Congresswoman Shirley Jackson Lee, all Democrats in Washington, D.C., and all people in LGBTQ community. If Trump doesn't get elected in 2024, we are coming to kill you, Trari allegedly said in the voicemail. So tread lightly, but you will be targeted personally, publicly, your family, all of it. This was a message from a Texas woman who have been arrested for allegedly making death threat to the DC judge about Trump re-election interference. So this is how we close down on all of our news for today, both locally and internationally. But before we go, I just want to say a few things here as we are facing campaign period. If you live within district number 13, understand that the LEC planted some light poles on the main street killing the Topa of district number 13. And that of I think it goes beyond district number 13. So these light poles have some of them have the transformer, some of them have the street lights, and some of them also having the meters for fewer homes on them. So when you have issues with your current LEC, people usually climb on the pole to connect you or to fix that particular problem. So if you notice keenly, you see that our as parents or our political leaders not just are putting this time around the stickers on the pole on the LEC pole that has no harm to those who will be put on the pole. But now they are even putting like partly a billboard on the LEC pole, which is wrong and is endangering the safety of us, I should say. Because if a LEC person comes to work on maybe the transformer or on a pole he will not be having that freedom, the guarantee in terms of safety them on our pole. Because I mean, you take a wooden platform or you take a wooden image and stick it on the LEC pole and you nail it. It's not safe. It doesn't make sense to me. Let me just say it that way. It doesn't make sense to me. And me, I'm using this medium to call on LEC to see a reason to look into that. You cannot take your, I mean, put it on a billboard, hang it up, or better say use the stickers. You can put it on the LEC pole, but instead you are using nail, you are using your stick to nail it on the LEC pole. How you expect when we have current issues for the people to clean the pool? It's not correct. It's improper. You don't do that. You don't do that. So I've been thinking about it. If you even enter New Georgia Estate, it's even worse. You look all on the both side coming here to our studio. It's all over nailed on the pole. It's not. It's being unprofessional, and I don't know whether AC is not seeing that. I don't know whether they are not seeing it. They should see it and they should take an action. You want to put your electoral stuff up. I mean, put it aside or you put it somewhere on a board where people can have access without being in danger. But you don't expect for or LEC personnel to go and claim on the pole that have that have a banner already attached to the pole. How you expect them to claim? I mean, killing you know, so far it's quite discouraging, man. You don't do that.
So what I think is responsible is the fact that since the official kickstart of the campaign activity, there has been series of reports, series of allegations about one one candidate alleging that oh this other candidate supporter is always in the habit of tearing down their banner. So I think they are trying to strategize a way to prevent people from you know from tearing the banner. One of the candidates, he is the incumbent lawmaker. He's seeking for re-elections. Edo Pape Flomo is the one I normally observe doing that particular stuff because he almost all of his posters I've seen so far has been attached on the LEC poll. You understand? But until I think the LEC cannot tell us they have not seen it. They are
Yes,
actually seeing
you're
it.
actually seeing
They
it.
are actually seeing it, but apparently maybe they are not plugged with the responsibility because the LEC have the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commissions. They have that could be the branch plugged with the responsibility to actually to actually look into that particular issue. But until then, we are just urging them to to maintain the peace and do away with anything that has a propensity to cause chaos in our district or in our country.
Thanks to you, Lyndon Topa, and we close out, we encouraging you to please steadfast to not be involved into violence acts. Remember, Liberia is what we have, and in order to protect the peace of our country, we must do away with violence. So this is how we close down on the Thursday daily edition of Inside the Print Media. Of course, I'm your presenter here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media on Focal Online TV. My name is Gregfina Karishpar, and I'm here with my co-presenter. His name is.
Okay, Lyndon Toba.
We are saying have yourself a nice day and may God order your steps and keep you safe during these challenging moments in our country and that of the world at large. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow for another daily edition of Inside Open Media. I really love you and I appreciate your effort being with us here from 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Thank you so much. We love you. This is the daily edition of Inside Open Media.
Fuck off.
Thank
Fuck
you.
off. Fuck off. Fuck out TV. Bringing you innovation to